Oh.
It's Weens time, baby.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to Weens.
My name's Grant.
Hello there, Senpai.
Hello there. My name's Grant Morrison. I'm the writer of Animal Man.
This is my Animal Man.
Today we'll be talking about my comic book, where we explore the intricacies of love and loss and animal cruelty.
A lot of animal cruelty.
Oh, on an exciting episode of Read Weens. I'm joined with my co-host, Thomas.
Hello.
And our good little best boy, Joe.
Hello. Yeah. That's a good intro.
Thanks.
Good anime we're watching.
Very shocked when spoiler alert for the very last couple issues of Animal Man real quick.
Oh, we're just jumping into that. Excellent.
Maybe not. Never mind.
No, we do it.
I was going to say.
We're talking about Animal Man spoilers for
Yeah.
a comic that's 30 years old.
When Grant Morrison showed up, I was like, what? Because he had hair, and I was not expecting it.
So, the psychedelic scene, he turns and looks at like what would be the camera.
I see you.
I see you.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that. I'm like, oh, that's cool. They're talking to the aliens. And I scroll down. I go back up. I'm like, wait a minute. He's pointing at me. It's like, okay, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, no, the whole like meta thing I was aware of. I was even expecting Grant to show up at some point based off like the trajectory of how they were like kind of going, but like it was just the fact that he had hair, because every image of Grant Morrison I've ever seen, he has been very bald. So it's like, oh, huh. I didn't even realize he had hair.
I believe, before we get too into it, I think Grant Morrison uses they, them pronouns.
They use they, them.
Oh,
okay.
really? Okay. I wasn't sure.
Excellent.
All right. I will keep that in mind.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Epic. Very cool.
Swag.
They were, oh god, I lost the plot, sorry.
They were bald.
They were bald. Oh yeah. Hi, I'm bald.
Yes.
There's the joke.
It's Grant Morrison!
Hi, I'm Grant Morrison. Not Grant Morrison. That's fun. That's funny though.
I think, I've said before that this, at least the first volume of this, because it comes in 2 big deluxe volumes, at least my version of it, that first one was like the best comic I've ever read. And I hadn't read the second one. And I think reading it's pretty obvious why. It's like, when you look at like my favorite types of movies, it's
literally
pretty easy to look at this and be like, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It tracks.
Yeah. I knew early on we were in for a good ride because we dived furthest into the spoilers. He loses his arm and he's like laying there, like kind of dying, and his power is just like, I need help. He's like, what? There's fucking worms down here.
Wait.
Worms regrow. And he's like, oh, that's what we're working with.
Wait, there's bacteria in my own body. I can duplicate myself.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, okay, so you can literally do anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wait, this guy's about to kill me. Let me be a fly and look at time like a fly looks at time.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's Animal Man. Man, what a crazy zany ride.
Buddy Baker,
Buddy Baker,
love you.
Yep.
Yeah, because I had like heard Animal Man around, but I had never like really heard a whole lot about Animal Man. So last episode when London was like Animal Man, I was like, this seems, I'm sure it'll be fine, whatever, 25, 26 issues. And then I read that first issue and I it was pretty clear. It was like, oh, this is going to be good. Because like right from the get-go, like from the dialogue even, you could tell that there was like ideas being executed through. Yeah. And it was just like, oh.
And Grant Morrison really, it feels like, even though like the end of it, he's like, I don't know what to do here. And there's this like meta contextualization talking about like, oh God, what am I doing? How do I end this? There are so many pieces he does put at the beginning. It's like, obviously he had a grand plan for a lot of things.
Yeah, because there's that part where Grant mentions, it's like, oh, I've been thinking about this scene for 2 years, but now that we're here, it's like,
what do I do with it?
Yeah, what do I say? It's like, there's not enough time. It's like, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this comic was fucking phenomenal. Holy shit. This is what like maybe not like the meta like end goal should like every comic strive to be, but at least on like the social level, this is what every comic should like strive to be.
100%.
Because even on, all books, all comics, everything, every media is going to be some sort of soapbox for some ideas.
Yeah.
But the self-awareness of this, like catching that and pulling it back or diving into it, but knowing you are, I think really lends itself to the material.
Mm-hmm.
So Animal Man was an older comic series. He was kind of just a forgotten character. And in the late 80s, Grant Morrison plucked him out and wrote this 26-issue run that's more of an exploration of like
his own grief,
forgotten characters, how media and like works of art will live long past their creators.
Fuck, that part was so good.
Yeah, which is something I think about constantly. I think about that stuff all the time. And it's not even like us, like we're living in this golden age of like being able to watch old movies or see old things, and we see on screen these people have these like almost these incredible performances that have been dead for 60 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially with like me and Thomas, we're watching a lot of like older. We watch the Masaki Kobayashi movies.
Well, that's you guys.
90% of those people are dead.
Yeah.
Or have been dead for a while.
Grant Morrison's still, they're still kicking, right?
They're still kicking.
Okay.
They're still writing too. They just wrote a Green Lantern run.
Oh, that explains. There's a Green Lantern like character, like caricature that was in. So in like they kind of visit the realm of like that bucket that Animal Man was plucked out from. There's a bunch of just like obviously like, okay, what if I tried to take this and draw it in my style kind of idea. A lot of like caricatures almost.
Well, a lot of those characters were existing like basically clone villains from like deep continuity.
Gotcha.
So
okay, I missed that then.
In DC at this time, there was like just billions of universes kind of thing. There was not like a singular continuity.
Gotcha.
And then there was an event called Crisis on Infinite Earths. That pretty much brought everything to a close in that chapter of DC. And it made one unifying continuity.
Okay, I was missing that bit of context.
Like obviously you do miss a little bit. It's just same with like Sleepwalker.
Yeah.
Where like there's these big events going on. Like the Infinity Gauntlet goes on during that.
Mm-hmm.
This same thing, the Infinity Crisis, it happens and then but I really think the way he writes about the ramifications of that, not just like on like this in-universe thing, but on like art in general, is astounding. Because a lot of these characters were real.
Yeah.
Like Time Commander, when he brings up all these people, Ultraman, those people are real. Those are all like real characters.
Okay. It felt like that. There was like coming at this from someone who doesn't have the knowledge. It definitely feels like, okay, these are like characters. Like these were people at one point. It wasn't just like, whatever. Okay, I understand that now.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's just absolutely stunning.
I almost bought Crisis on Infinite Earths and just read it, but I don't really think it's needed. I actually think that
it's more interesting post it.
I also think it's more interesting, like not knowing like what happened.
Puts you in the character's shoes,
and I think that's how Grant Morrison wrote it, which is pretty good. Like he's like he's like, oh god, I gotta involve my guy in one of these big events, but he pretty much writes it as if the audience forgets, like it doesn't remember it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really good. Fucking, I don't know. Yeah, I just thought that was all like really interesting and really well done with like just the meta level he went on. But
I realize that I've now said he like 1,000 times, even though I already.
Crap, my bad. But yeah, even like further back, like just I love every part of this comic, and there's part of me that kind of gets in that same like state of mind I get into whenever I experience anything like Twin Peaks is very similar, both like thematically to this and kind of how it starts off on a grounded level and kind of like ascends
pulls away.
Yeah, but like I feel the same way that I kind of feel about like a lot of David Lynch's work, where it's like I really like where it goes, but also there's a part of me that's like, God damn, I would have just really liked to see the grounded
stayed there, yeah.
So I love the stuff early on where it's just Animal Man slowly kind of coming to the realization where it's like, why am I like, yeah, I'll become like an animal rights person, and just like the kind of like arc they go through with that. It's just like
they kill a person in like the first chapter, like the first issue. They just like toss them into the wall, and they're unambiguously gone from the earth. It is, as soon as I saw them, like, oh, we're real is what's going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, because even on that surface level, it's still just a really good, just enjoyable like superhero story. And then it just starts pulling away further and further, and it's callbacks and layers. It's incredible.
Yeah, it was all like really well executed. Like I was, it feels like it's only 26 issues, but it feels like
it was a super quick read.
Yeah,
It's a quick read, but it's so dense.
It's so dense. I already want to reread it. There's so much. So I realized this early on because I took a screenshot of the cavalry.
Those are also all real people. They were already real characters.
Yeah. They're outside the frame, very obviously outside the frame. And I noticed that afterwards because they're like, oh, this is a funny guy. Like, he's kind of cool. And I look at him like, holy shit, they're coming from outside the world. Like, that's incredible. Just like that level of just visual storytelling is insane. Absolutely stunning. I only noticed that after the fact. And I was like, wow. We're planting seeds that early and just like, they're already good. That's insane.
I'd almost be interested to see like a similar type of story set in DC, like now that like we live at a point in time where like comic continuity has been like
very streamlined and organized ish. Like there's a cleaner order.
It seems to me that it's like a crisis fatigue where they just keep going through big events and then
they keep trying to one up each other.
They keep fucking up their universes and going like, well, here's a reboot. Like,
it's funny because DC had the New 52, where they introduced 52 different universes, but it was a set number of universes. Like, that's all there was.
I like that.
And then there was there was Dark Knight's Metal, which there was 52 universes, but then you flipped it over, and there were evil universes too. The dark universe.
Oh, okay.
But then at the end of Dark Knight's Metal, the universe, the 52, it's kind of like in One Piece where they break through and they're like, guys, there's more.
There's more.
And then they reintroduce this concept of infinite frontiers as the newest concept. And it's, again, infinite universes, which I think is better. I don't like streamlined continuity in comics because you just try to tie everything together and it all fucking sucks.
Yeah, usually.
Well, and it's just like, I just want you to write a story.
That's cool. And then just like name drop it.
Just write a story. Yeah. I don't even care if it's good. Just write your own story. Stop tying things together.
Weirdly enough, that's kind of why I like Guardians. It's such a good, like, central nexus thing. Like, here is your opportunity to have, like, here's your crossover event. Like, that's easy and it's safe. Like, they're literally in the middle of the galaxy. They're kind of like just intersection of a highway type of deal. They're going to see everyone and everything. That's why I like James Gunn. James Gunn keeps,
for the movies, he writes a story.
He steps into the studio and he comes out with a banger. Like, does not miss. Especially after Guardians 3, I'm like, okay, no, there's interesting stuff going on, but I think I agree with you more. I like the subtlety of it all. It's not.
I just don't. If most of the time, if I'm reading a comic, I don't care if it's interconnected. Like the new Radiant Black stuff that I've been really enjoying. That's all technically part of the same universe.
Yeah, but
it's like they're all written to they're all meant to be written so that a reader can read any of them and be fine.
Okay.
Which is fine. If you want a shared universe, that's the way to go. You can have a big crossover, just don't make it part of the main stuff. Don't be like, you have to read this issue of Sleepwalker to understand what he's doing during the events of the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that was always my thing, because my sister dived like really deep into Batman when we were growing up, and I'm just like, that's so impenetrable. It just feels so daunting.
And you get more. There is like a certain like time that you're getting into comics that you suddenly get it.
Mhm.
And if you have like a working knowledge of characters, you can suddenly just be like, wait, you can just jump into any comic and be fine.
Mhm. It's almost like movie-like.
They're almost like Batman. I could pick up a volume, and the way it's written is written so that you don't really need to read the other things.
Mhm.
Like, there are self-contained arcs, and they'll tell you what happened in little blurbs, pretty much.
Have y'all talked about Spider-Verse on the movie podcast yet?
We said it was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was about it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just like, I actually think when I was a kid growing up and getting into comics recently, I'm like, oh God, I'm so scared. But it's actually really easy to get into comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you literally just pick up a book, you'll be fine.
Yeah, for the most part. You might find like the occasional like straggler. Like if you pick up like Spider-Man Worldwide or something, you might be like, who is this other person who's Spider-Man? Why is Peter Parker rich? What's going on?
But
They
even
start
then,
diving
most
down.
of the
They'll try to
time at the
explain it.
beginning of the blurb, they'll be like, Peter Parker
Yeah.
exploded in a gas fire. His brother, James Parker, who no one knew about, he is now the CEO of McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, it'll tell you a blurb at the very beginning.
Which is nice. That was just something that I didn't think would be inside of comics.
And it's interesting because Joe
it's
in
almost a
general
necessity.
Joe is the least familiar with Western comics out of us three.
I know nothing.
But it's interesting seeing how we each react to newer comics because, like, before I started working at the comic shop I work at, I hadn't read any comics.
Yeah.
And now I'm pretty well versed in most things. I haven't read a ton, but I know a lot about comics now.
Use it as like a general pool of knowledge.
Yeah, and I do read a lot, but it's just like there's almost a scaredness that a lot of people have to get into comics because they're like, oh no. And it's funny, people coming into the shop, they're like, oh God, I don't know where to start. I'm like, just pick a book. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'll help them, obviously, but I'm like, I promise you will be fine. It's so easy to read a comic.
Yeah. Because that's basically what I did, like the equivalent of for my pick, because that's what's coming up next. And we'll cover that at the end because I still want to talk more Animal Man. But it's interesting. Yeah, like you take an idea like Batman, like you know Batman.
Literally, honestly,
You know
go to
Spider-Man.
a trade paperback shelf. Just what looks fun.
Yeah.
Just look at the cover. Oh, look at that.
Spider-Man.
Batman the Black Mirror. Great one. Batman the Black Mirror is like, you would think it's almost like impossible to get into if you're not a Batman fan because you're like, why is Dick Grayson Batman in this issue? Because Dick Grayson's Batman during the Black Mirror. You're fine. You get over it in 5 seconds. You're like, something happened. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Just seeing that, because it ties into the conversation too hard. Like, I'm picking Moon Knight, and I'm just like, well, that's like, I really like the show. I thought they were really interesting, and I'm like, okay, like what are popular comics like last year and a half? Like what's like Moon Knight? That's a name I know. Tell me more. What's the first issue that came out? Is it good enough? Okay, cool. We'll check it out. Is it? Yeah. No. Animal Man's really fucking good. It's starting a whole passion right here.
Joe's about to get into modern comics in an extreme way.
I was gonna just like dig through your stuff and be like, I want to read this.
I keep buying comics. I'm
I
a
know.
giant shelf.
I'm going to be
I have
doing
5 short
Yeah.
boxes.
Low-key, I'm kind of excited for Marvel's new Ultimate Universe, but
Yeah.
that kind of goes into the face of kind of what we're talking about because they're wiping the slate clean and starting like a new, fresh continuity. So it's like
Are they?
that's
really?
that's what I've heard. It's like a new Ultimate. I don't think it's going to be called Ultimate, but it's basically like the same concept as what the Ultimate comics were.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be good this time.
Maybe.
Um,
No promises.
You had mentioned like Grant Morrison forgetting like things and characters like Be Wanna Beast. That
The wannabes, yeah.
insane. They brought them back, and I'm just like, fuck, you're right. I did forget about them. That's insane.
Yeah, I did not, because I actually thought that plot line that they left off on, I was like, this is super interesting. I hope we get more of this, and then it didn't.
And then Time Commander. Oh, he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
A lot of the villains that Grant Morrison wrote are just really...
most of them are just they're older villains that he just remade.
And that's insane. That's incredible. I love that so much. Like, just recycling all the...
And I like
giving them new life.
When they're in purgatory, they're like, yeah, but Wannabeast got out of here. That's insane. What the hell?
Yeah, right. They shit talk Blue Beetle a lot.
They do. I didn't understand that. And now I'm like, okay, I get it now.
I mean, Ted Cord is a pretty funny guy. So there's multiple
Blue Beetles.
Multiple Blue Beetles. Yeah. We're going to do a little history lesson for... so at this point, Blue Beetle was Ted Cord. He's kind of like he was the main Blue Beetle for the vast majority of the time.
Okay.
And he's just like... He's a tech guy, and he has Beetle, he just makes Beetle things. He's a weirdo. And then the new Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes, he has alien backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Very, very different type of character.
Yeah.
Ted Cord in general is a character you like to make fun of. I like making fun of Ted Cord because I love him.
It's like, that's a name I know. What the hell?
Here, because you're so into comics now, I'm going to give you an 8-issue run after this.
Excellent.
Woo! Comics!
Woo, comics. Yeah, no, comics pretty fucking rad.
Yeah.
They can be.
They can also be pretty fucking rough. I'm looking at you, Zeb Wells! I know what you did to Spider-Man, you piece!
Fucking Paul!
Okay.
All right. Does Joe not know about
Yeah, Joe knows about Paul.
Oh, okay.
The guy cucking Spider-Man.
Oh, right, yes. Yeah, London mentioned that, yeah.
But yeah, Animal Man by Grant Morrison. They wrote something that was just like...
End of the 80s.
It's kind of mind-blowing. It's really good. It reminds me, especially the ending, reminds me of like something like Adaptation.
Yeah.
It almost feels like Charlie Kaufman being like, I have no idea what the fuck to write.
Yeah.
I'm going to write this about myself.
Pretty much, yeah.
And, obviously, anytime you write something, some part of it is going to be an expression of yourself.
Mm-hmm. No, of course.
Like, when we make art, we pour ourselves into it.
You have to be trying pretty hard not to.
Yeah.
So I feel like I understand David Lynch a lot more after reading Animal World.
Yeah, you would probably like... If you really like...
I really like Mulholland. I really like Mulholland Drive. Yeah, that was the movie that kind of like clicked for me. Elephant Man, I'm just like, yeah.
Oh.
But I'm curious because it's very similar, like almost note taking of the current era kind of deal. Like,
have you seen Elephant Man, or are you thinking of Eraserhead?
Eraserhead. That's the one.
Okay.
So, I haven't
seen Elephant Man.
I'd be surprised if anyone had a meh reaction to Elephant Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could see that reaction for Eraserhead, but Elephant Man's
Eraserhead.
Dang. I love Eraserhead's one of my favorite movies. Yeah, I see why people obviously don't like that movie, but I think if you like Animal Man, you would almost certainly really fuck with Twin Peaks.
Okay. His costume's also really good. I really like his costume.
Animal Man's costume.
Animal Man's costume is really, really good.
I really want to be him for Halloween.
What?
I really want to be Animal Man for Halloween.
There you go.
That'd be a good one. But yeah, I really like the Wannabe stuff. Also, like the first 5 issues, like that small little arc.
Oh my god,
is so dark and
holy
fucked up.
Shit!
The morphing the dead ape into the scientist, and then he gets thrown away. I'm like, what the fuck? I was just like, holy shit.
Just sent him to the actual Shadow Realm.
And then you got Wile E. Coyote in the next issue. One issue.
I read that like twice over. I'm just like, I don't understand what the fuck happened. Oh my god.
I think the first like couple issues is like pretty straightforward in its narrative. And then you get to the Wile E. Coyote one, you're like,
what the hell is happening?
And then you see him dead with his arms out like fucking Jesus.
Yeah. Oh my god. And they back up like 30 minutes beforehand, like the context for that, and just
and you see the painting, the paintbrush. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I think that's really where you that's one of those like zoom out moments on when you kind of get what's gonna happen in the series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of early clues are like, what the hell?
Yeah, because I think that's the issue where it has the cover where it's Animal Man just chilling and his legs being drawn by the artist, right?
I believe so.
Incredible.
Cheeky.
Incredible stuff.
Cheeky.
Okay, so I asked Pierre this earlier. Ants run fast relative to their body, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they're like, oh, they're not that fast. I'm like, what do you mean?
You look at an ant,
Yeah.
it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, they're there across the room in like half a second. I'm like, yeah, no, if you scale that up, they're moving fast. I was like, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
The worm, and like at one point he's like getting crushed.
Mhm.
And I was like, I call upon the defensive capabilities of a cockroach. And I'm like, that's so good. That's so funny.
Yeah. No, I like that he can just summon whatever specific thing he's like, animals can do this, I'll do that. And
Yeah.
it's just like,
He's like, I learned this from a shrimp. Sonic rays.
Oh my god.
I can't say from context because I don't know much about Endgame Worm, but who wins in a fight? The worm. What's the main character Worm's name again? Skitter.
Skitter, yeah.
Skitter or Animal Man?
Animal Man.
Well, Animal Man, because he could just become the worm.
That's true.
Yeah.
So who wins? Animal Man or the worm from Dune?
And that's a similar thing happens in Worm, and I've been trying to get to that point. I'm like, I can't get to that point. Because there is a fall through. Because I only knew about it because a bunch of friends in high school want to play like a one shot campaign, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is based on Worm." I'm like, all these fucking things that we're fighting are based on Worm. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And then we're reading Worm. I'm like, what the fuck is this civility? And it's like, what is going on? The dimensions break down basically, and it's all shadow government.
Oh,
but you're fighting like weird 3D crystalline creatures in Worms. Like, what? Where the fuck are these? And like, something big happens.
yeah.
I don't know. I think I just want to read now. I just want to read a bunch of stuff now.
Yeah, Animal Man's one of those that you read and you're like, man, this is kicking off a reading thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I wish that there was more Grant Morrison Animal.
Yeah, because they just
Yeah, he's like, Grant Morrison, they're like, I have so much to say to you, but how do I say that in 24 pages?
Serialized storytelling. That's how.
yeah.
But I guess I'm
Their
sure
next comic should have been Animal Man and Grant Morrison hang out at a coffee shop and talk about life.
The way the reading app that I was on, or the reading website I was on, like they structured so it was like next term was like him waking up from like a coma, and I'm just like, that's cheeky. That's interesting to do. Like trying to continue the continuity, kind of.
Yeah. No, I'm
There
interested
is.
to see how they try to.
I'm gonna keep
where they
reading the next series, but I've heard the next stuff sucks like badly.
I like read through the first
It's a
two
hard
pages,
act to follow.
and I'm just like,
I have volumes 5 and 7. I need 4 and 6 because 4 is the one that follows the two big hardcovers.
Yeah.
I'm not excited. I am excited. I've heard the Jeff Lemire run is pretty good. He did Animal Man. When Joe was asking me what Moon Knight we should read, I told him maybe the Lemire run because I've heard Jeff Lemire's awesome.
I've heard that
And
as well.
what I've read from him, I have enjoyed. So I've heard his Animal Man stuff's pretty good. So I might read that. Well, I'll probably eventually. Animal Man's like one of my favorite characters now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I want
Buddy Baker, incredible.
He's an incredible
maybe
man.
when I go back and reread like the Silver Age stuff.
Me
so it's
too,
like,
but I feel like it's probably not great.
well, yeah,
Probably a lot of
most Silver Age
Yeah.
stuff is pretty dry at the very least.
Also, I love that he loved his wife so much. He loved his
He
wife.
loved his wife. Yeah.
Loved his kids too. I'm like, he's just a good man.
I will say, and obviously they're not Grant Morrison. They write the characters in this to feel real and grounded. And I like the way that they write his wife. And Animal Man's wife's not present in the story very often, but every snippet feels good,
Yeah, because I was real worried, and it did kind of fall into the common just trap that most comics do, where it's like, oh, I'm the superhero, and then I've got my girl on the side who is really their only role in the story is to service me. But it worked on that meta level here, And it felt like there was still something deeper to her character to where like it all felt like appropriate.
No, I agree.
And like all of his like enemies were also like his friends at the same time, Animal Man, and it just
Mirror Master.
oh god.
Mirror Master
Is
is everywhere in DC Comics.
oh, okay. That's an inside joke type deal. That you just
He's just like people love using Mirror.
Oh, okay.
Because he's
Okay.
fun. He's the master of mirrors.
I bet like so for context, there's a fight and Mirror Man fights in a mirror dimension. You see him in a mirror, pretty straightforward. So Animal Man walks through it, and then the whole comic panel, all the text, everything mirrored. And I'm just like flipping through this. I'm like, this is so fucking cool. This is so cool.
I'm excited for you to explore like the comics and like the medium in general, because there is a lot of fun stuff that they use. That they use the medium for that you couldn't get in like a novel, at least in the same way. So
it's very interesting. It's a very different style of like.
I'm really glad you liked Animal Man so much. This really feels like we've read some good comics, but this really feels like a doors opening for you.
100% it is. It's like.
Which is great. Like when I read this, it kind of did the same for me. I was like, "What the fuck? This is what things can be like."
Well, because like, and I was getting twinges of that towards the end of Saga because I had asked him like, because Saga's incredibly, insanely horny, and just like,
I'm like, it's not. It's fine.
Yeah,
Saga's decent,
but also like a lot of the similar things I liked about in Animal Man, I liked in Saga. It was just like it was just a weird thing that I'm just like, I just need to know. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Let's dive in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it really, really, there's just so much about it that I just love. It's hard to have it come out. It's just everything. It's just everything.
Yeah, no, this is a very solid run. Like, probably the most consistent and solid run that I've read through. And I don't read, like, so many comics. I usually read, like, just trades and stuff, but, like...
But yeah, it's like every single issue. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I love his, he loses his family and it's horrible. You like see him just in the bathroom crying. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Grant Morrison, what the hell is that?
You good?
What are you doing?
I knew that scene was going to be bad because as soon as he landed in front of his house, the frame was such that he was just so small and the door was so big. Oh no! The guy that visited earlier was not a friend at all. Just like, no, oh god, no! Flip to the page and you see this whole family just murdered. Just like, yeah, I'd want to tear apart the universe too.
Yeah, the second it was like, oh, Ghost You is like talking to the daughter.
Yeah,
it was
and I knew like it was eventually going to do something like it did, but the whole like issue where Animal Man's traveling through time is heartbreaking and really good.
Oh, it's so.
But man,
so
I think that first volume's pretty like heavy, but that second volume's pretty heart wrenching.
It is just payoff through and through. Just like every single thing planted was just immediately picked up. It's like, whoa, that's insane.
I love the callback because there's the episode where I can't remember what their names are, but like Hawkman's people. They're invading, and he's like losing his mind. Like, I don't know how to stop the bomb. And then Hawkman shows up, and he's like, "You just hit the off switch." And then they do that callback.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he's like, Overman's like, "I have the." I love Overman. He's like, "I have the bomb. I have the bomb."
He's like, "You can't stop me. I'm just trying to bomb." He's like, "You just
got
to off."
One thing I learned in my travels: you just have to hit the off switch.
You know. I never thought I'd feel any shred of sympathy for a Nazi Superman, but like when that whole like point where it's like I was designed to be like evil like this. It's not my fault. I was like, you got a point, but you're also Nazi Superman.
Yeah, like
your name is Overman.
Like
you brought the bomb.
Do we need to put the insignia on you too? Like what more do you need?
But yeah. I'm also kind of just at a loss for words. Oh, because it's just like so dense, and it's like, yeah, I'm definitely going to reread this and take more time with it just to sit with every issue and think about it. Because, Yeah, this story was
This is
fucking-
one that I would have liked to. A lot of comics I'm not a huge fan of reading week to week. Some of them I'm fine with.
Mhm.
She-Hulk I've been having fun reading week to week. Poison Ivy, or month to month for
Mhm.
most comics. But this one I think I would have liked to read, like month to month or week to week.
This would have been a good one. This would have been such an agonizing one to.
Yeah, but you could really like sit with it. This is one that like I do think this is thematically denser than most comics.
Yeah.
But it's that good kind of like anxiety. It's like, oh man, I can't wait for more. But I'm like, I gotta understand what's happening now first.
And what's happening in me, in
Yeah.
my heart.
Yeah, you gotta just sit with it. That's the best time when you have a show or like a book or a series like that. You're just like, it's got you by the neck. It's like,
Yeah.
want more.
Mhm.
So.
Read Animal Man. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone should.
Yeah, I
This
think
is
we're
a
all.
comic
I mean,
that-
I think I don't want Hinata to read it. It's like if you're.
If you can handle animal stuff.
There's a lot of animal
There's a
cruelty.
lot of
It's
animal
like I get it if you don't think you can handle it. It is sad,
Yeah.
but it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's not
Its heart's in the right place.
it's not used tastelessly.
Yeah, that's another
There
thing.
is intention behind everything once you know everything.
That's another thing about Grant Morrison's writing is they do all these things that are like heartbreaking or kind of like pretty cruel or almost evil, but they do it in a way that's like it never feels like exploitative.
No.
It feels like, it's some good.
I would
Almost
say-
true to a fault.
Yeah, I would say the only point where I felt like it was exploitative was like the death of the family, but even
that
then,
leads directly
yeah,
into
it-
it's like
it became it still had
to
a
be
point,
its thing.
so
Yeah.
it was like, oh damn,
you got me.
yeah, because before like I got to that final issue, I was like, there are criticisms I have of this series, but then like Grant Morrison called themselves out, and I was like, for pretty much most of my criticisms, I was like, well, damn.
What am I
Kinda
supposed to
took this-
criticize now? Come
Kind
on.
of took the steam out of my engine there.
Yeah.
All right. Fine.
And
You win, Grant.
And as I've gotten further away from like the end of the book, or the run, he like gives Animal Man everything back at the end because he like takes one and sits with himself and like,
And he's literally like,
why am I doing
Animal
this?
says to them, he's like, why won't you just give me them back?
He's like, that's
And
a cop
Grant
out.
Morrison's like, yeah, no.
He literally says like, oh, I'm not gonna write that cop out mess.
Yeah, it's not realistic. It's
Yeah.
like-
Then he sits with that decision. He's like, I can give him a happy ending.
yeah, I really liked that ending. That Grant decided to give Animal Man back his family. It was like I was low key kind of expecting them to like just do like a kind of like what Spider-Man did, where it reset its own continuity, but not like the DC continuity as a whole. That way, like the next author isn't just like, what? Like,
I like what they say about it. It's like, you're going to get a new author.
and it might suck.
Might suck.
And they knew it was coming.
Yeah.
'Cause, I'm not excited to read what's next. But I'm going to. But yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to
through the next
read.
section at least once.
I also really want to read their run of Doom Patrol. Because I've heard their run of Doom Patrol
Yeah.
is really good.
I've read a little bit of
It's like-
Silver Age Doom Patrol, and it's like, eh.
I know their run of Doom Patrol is longer. It's like 50 issues or something.
Down. I mean, as long as it's maintained.
I kind of just want to read all of all of their works now.
Yeah,
That's
low
fair.
key.
That's fair. Yeah.
The We 3 is another really good one. It's like it's like 3 issues. It's about animals that are cybernetically enhanced. It's about I think a dog, a cat, and a rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad. It's so sad. I cried. But it's really, really good. And there's a lot of other like comic medium stuff that you can't get in other things that are in that are great. So yeah, if you like this one, you should check out We 3.
Okay.
It might not be out of print, but you can probably find it somewhere. But yeah, also if you like Animal Man, you should listen to Screen Weens.
Basically.
But yeah, I think we're all in agreement here that if you think you can handle like some animal cruelty and violence, that you are doing yourself a disservice by not reading Animal Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you out there will probably sit on the side of the fence. I mean, maybe not if you're listening to this show, because you're probably tailored more to what we like, but I'm sure there's probably a lot of people who would read it and be like, you know, oh, this bleeding heart crap. Like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
Fucking, what's the term I'm looking for?
He takes the wind out of that sail so
liberal
Pre-
agenda.
preachy.
Yeah.
Soapbox.
There are some points where Animal Man does get up. There was one point in particular where even I was like, all right, this specific part's a little preachy, but I was like, all right, I don't care. You're like, your heart's something good. He's like, every time you eat a hamburger bun, it's like, all right, calm down.
Yeah,
I get them.
Well, and then he's like, and then he literally is like, I'm doing too much. I'm being a weirdo.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
I was going to say, but then Animal Man tells his son in that same very point, it's like, look, I'm not saying you can't eat meat. I just want you to think about it, you know? It's like, all right, great.
All right, buddy, you brought me back.
Exactly what I was going to say.
All right, buddy Baker, I love you. You're so cute. Oh, ruffle your little head. I love you, buddy Baker.
And I love his little haircut that he gives himself when he goes Travis Bickle mode.
When he becomes original Animal Man.
Yeah.
I have my original suit on. It's made of leather.
Built in the cave with a box of scraps.
But yeah. I love this. Is my
incredible. Fantastic.
This is my favorite comic.
Yeah. I can't say it's my favorite.
I'm on board.
Comic in the medium of comics, but it's up there. And in terms of like Western American comics, it's probably like my favorite from what I've read. It's really
Whoa! I'm so glad everybody liked my pick.
Yeah, I was very skeptical when you're like Animal Man. I'm like, that sounds weird. But
well, I like the cover of the second volume. Like, there's a monkey on this. This is gonna be a monkey on a typewriter.
Yeah,
like and I saw they pull that panel and put it on the book. I'm just like.
Yeah.
Hey!
It wasn't on the omnibus scans that I read, but there's one where it's like him back to back with a monkey, and it's like, yes!
He loves animals so much. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's just the right amount of cheese in cans. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joe already said it, but next time we are going to be reading Moon Knight, the original run from 1980. We're going to be reading the whole run of that, which is 38 issues. Should be good.
Should be good.
I've only read a bit of the newest run, which has been pretty good as well. I'm really far behind. I'm still collecting it. It's still in my pull box. I just can't get around to actually reading any of my fucking books. Don't worry, I bought number 24 today. It's in that bag.
Nice.
But I'm so far behind in all my comics and manga. I need to just sit down for 2 weeks and just read everything. I cannot do that in 2 weeks. All right. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching.
Tell your grandma.
Go read Animal Man.
Go read Animal Man.
I'm going to go reread it right now. Goodbye, everyone.